So it looks as though Stadia is finally starting to make some moves left and right, as well as the continued rollout of features, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to Stadia doing some huge things. But before we go further, if you guys could hit that like button, as it's so helpful to me as a content creator, and sub to the channel for more Stadia coverage. But let's cover some Stadia news, as we have quite a bit. So in today's Stadia news, we have quite a few topics to cover in this video, including a slow 4K rollout to the Chrome browsers, Ubisoft giving us a time frame on some of its key franchise titles coming to Stadia, as well as a huge community event, and our channel hosting a 40-player grid race this Saturday. But let's start off with the biggest news of the day. Now, this is somewhat tricky news, as this is hush-hush information, and I don't want to get people in trouble. So I'm going to be slightly vague, but it looks as though Stadia will be releasing the base model launch in the coming few months. Now, I know that's not exactly massive news per se, because I've already kind of telegraphed this before, and you can see all the inner workings of them prepping for a base launch sooner rather than later, when they outline the key features coming in Q1. And those features were the 4K on Chrome browser, adding further assistant functionality when playing on the web, supporting additional Android phones, and wireless gameplay on the web with the Stadia controller. Now, when I saw those, I immediately knew once those features were rolled out and working, we would have the main things that Google themselves can control in regards to features that they can coincide with when it comes to the base launch. Other features missing are more game related, and so the developers have to utilize those in their games. So with that said, this is something that I saw that came from a very reliable source, so definitely have confidence with that information. But as you guys know, as I've talked about this before, Google has to 100% get this free base model off the ground, working at its peak, because that is the impression that the everyday user will get, and they no longer have to rely on these YouTubers who've never tested the platform and give their lame opinions, and these clickbait articles not giving the full story. They'll be able to test out Stadia on their own and come to their own conclusions, whatever that may be. And it might be what could make or break this platform. So every time you guys see a new feature roll out, we are inching closer and closer to that launch. And with this confirmation that I've seen, it's coming way closer than we all might think. So speaking of the new features rolling out, it looks as though the official Stadia Twitter has mentioned that 4K support on Chrome browsers has been released, but maybe not to everyone. They are claiming a soft release has been initiated, and I haven't had a chance to test this out myself, but this is good to see, and it makes sense in regards to their timeline that I just mentioned a minute ago. One of the easiest ways people will be able to test out Stadia is if they pick up a Pro subscription and they go straight for their Chrome browser and they start testing out games in 4K if it supports it. Not everyone will have a Chromecast Ultra, so it's imperative that the Stadia team gets this working for the base launch. So I'm really happy to see this starting to finally get rolled out. But moving on to the next piece of news we have is actually about game launches on Stadia, which at the time of this video is about as scarce as finding Bigfoot these days. We have The Division 2 and The Crew 2 coming out by at least the end of March, which is excellent. But it does have me a little bit worried, because The Division has a huge update in episode 3, making massive overhaul changes to the loot system. So I'm hoping that when Division 2 launches on Stadia and going forward, that it will be 100% up to date with the current patches. But I guess we'll wait and see. And another interesting piece of news to point out is that Ubisoft reported that it has shifted its focus to the new 5 AAA titles that will be coming out this year and in Q1 of 2021. And we know what some of those games are, being Watch Dogs Legion, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Gods and Monsters, with 2 other titles yet to be confirmed. As we know, Ubisoft and Stadia are working hand in hand, so all of this was great news to see. And stay tuned if I hear anything on Uplay, hopefully launching with Stadia here at some point. But you guys know how we do it on this channel. We cover all upcoming games, so definitely stay tuned for that and be subbed to this channel. And the last piece of news, if you guys haven't heard, is a lot of the creators are holding a Stadia Super Saturday this weekend, holding a worldwide community event featuring a ton of the Stadia creators for 24 hours on the 15th. And yours truly, as well as Ace, will be streaming and featured on that Saturday. I'll have a link down below for more information, but quite a few giveaways from game codes like Borderlands and Ghost Recon, as well as Stadia swag and merch like sweaters, will be happening across the day. But as for our channel, I will be holding a 40-player grid race at 2 p.m. Pacific, so I'd love for you guys to join, as I'll also be giving out a buddy pass as well as Google Play cards on my stream. So stay tuned for any other information, as I'll keep you guys updated on Twitter and the community tab here on YouTube. But we would love to see you guys come out and support your favorite creators, whether that's us here at Cloud Gaming X or anybody else. But with all that said, if you guys could hit that like button for this video, as it's so helpful to me as a content creator, and sub for more future Stadia content. I'm Sunny at Cloud Gaming X, and like always, I hope you guys all have a sunny day.